Hey guys, welcome to another video. Are you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the books I read in April. I read 11 books. I think this is the least book I've read so far this year in 1 month. And that's because of everything that's been happening this month. So yeah, I think I already said some things in my previous videos. Yeah. So I want to show you guys something really cool. Look at this cup today. I went to the supermarket with Babe and we saw this cup and we're like, oh my god, it looks like we're drinking beer. So we decided to get matching one. He has his own, I have mine. And it's so funny because I'm like, cheers. And then I take this and refreshing. I'm drinking beer. Okay, in today's video, I'm going to talk about the books I read in April, and let's get straight into the video. Tools of Engagement by Tessa Bailey. This is really, really cute. So it's about this particular guy. He's younger than her, and she's trying to prove to her family that she can handle some things on her own, aka build or refurbish a whole freaking house on her own without her family's help, because this is the family business and she really, really wants to go into interior and all those things on her own. This guy is a contractor, works on houses with her brother, and she's trying to prove that she can do this on her own, so she doesn't need the guy, right? What I like about this is that the guy knows what he wants. Like, yes, he's older than her, he's younger than her, but he still felt like, okay, I know you're older than me, but I still freaking want you. That kind of vibe. I really, really like that. I like when a guy knows what he wants and goes for it. Although he was a little bit skeptical at some points. She was the one acting babyish, but it was just a very cute read. Nothing serious, and it's also hilarious. Yeah, so I gave this a 4 stars. Then the next book I read is Twisted. This is like a Jasmine's story retelling by Emily McIntyre. Our father is dying, and his assistant, which I'm going to call Jafar because in my own opinion looks like Jafar, so he wants the company. He wants to take over, but he doesn't want to take over in that kind of way. So he's trying to do it in a coded way where he's going to take over without, and she, of course, is going to inherit everything. But her father wants her to get married to somebody that is going to be able to take care of the business. And of course, he wants this business. So he's like, okay, I'm going to marry her and kill her, then take the business, that kind of vibe. So that's what happens here. It's actually really nice, interesting, light, not so crazy like I expected, but 4 stars also. I kind of like, I've been enjoying Emily McIntyre's retellings because they are actually easy to follow. No hard. There's also the genie lamp. There's a person named Genie in this book, and then there's a lamp that they're looking for because it's going to answer all your wishes, kind of vibe. It's hilarious. So the next book I read is Say You Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. It started really, really strong. Okay, so she goes to this vet. The guy is a vet. And she tells him that, she wants to check her cat because she wants to travel. And apparently she didn't know that her cat does not have an anus. So he's like, she's going to die. The cat's going to die. And then she's like, no way. I'm never going to let my cat die. You're a wicked vet. And then he says, okay, this is just my opinion and stuff like that. And he's not that kind of person, but that's our first impression of him. So she just takes him as a duck and decides that, okay, I am going to show you that I can actually, my cat is going to survive and stuff. So she makes it work and she's able to get a fund for the cat and perform the operation, and the cat is okay, good. But when she comes back to the vet and he's like, go on a date with me. So they go on this date, which is amazing according to the book. Amazing dates, everything. They felt so connected. But she's actually already going. She's traveling the next day, and there's no way that she's going to actually stay. Like, it's a non-negotiable. She cannot stay because of something that's happening. So I really enjoyed the story, but I just felt like everything just fell to the guy. He was the one that had to travel twice or thrice, and the whole thing, it was just messy in a way. But then I understand how it is now, because grief can do so many things. But yeah, I just have to say that I enjoyed the story, but I didn't, like, I expected more fluff basically. But it was really good. My friend enjoyed it, so I give this a 3.75 in my own opinion. That's okay. Then the next one I read is The Long Game by Elena Amas. I've had this book for the longest, you guys. I keep saying I'll read it. Well, so this particular girl creates a scene. Her father is like a company, oh my god, her father owns a company that deals with sports. So she makes a scene where her video goes viral negatively and it affects the company, and her father just sends her to the bush. And in the bush, she meets this guy, and this guy is one of a very, very popular athletes. And so she's supposed to do something that's supposed to help her get her reputation back, but there are some other shady things happening. But it's just very, very hilarious. There's a found family in it. I really, really liked that. And seeing her, a old city babe, trying to survive in village kind of vibe, it was actually hilarious. And then the guy himself, you get to understand why he decides to come to the bush to stay. So yeah, it was actually very, very funny. I wasn't expecting it to be as funny as it was, and I gave it a 4.25 stars. I really liked that. I like when books surprise me, The next one I read is this, Anatomy by Dana Schwartz. Guys, I said it the time I bought this book that if the book is not as nice as I hope it would be, I will be so pissed because I love this cover so much. It looks like a heart, but it's a girl in a dress. Yeah, so nothing prepared me for what this was going to be about, because I did not even read the synopsis or the blurb or anything. So this was about a girl, and what's her name? Hazel. Her name is Hazel. Honestly, I would advise you listen to this immersion. I immersion read all the time, so if you have the opportunity to listen to the audio alongside, that would be so perfect. You would feel every emotion. So Hazel wants to be a doctor, but in this era, she's a woman, so she cannot be a doctor because women are not respected in that way. Women are meant to look pretty and attend all these balls and look cute and stuff like that. But she disguises as a man and starts to go for the classes and all that. And then she needs dead bodies. She needs bodies to practice, to practice for the exam and stuff like that. So there's this particular guy, Jack, and he's a resurrection man. They are the people that go to steal dead bodies from the graveyard. So she feels one kind of connection. Honestly, aside the love thing happening here, I just love how strong Hazel was or is, because there's so many things like going against stuff like that is not easy, but she still was determined to learn. She was determined to be who she wants to be, and that was so refreshing to see. It was a very, very different book. I've not read anything like this, and I really, really loved it so much. I gave this 5 stars. Well, of course. Then the next book I read was on my Kindle. I read Out on a Limb by Anna Bonham Young. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but this particular book is about this particular girl that gets pregnant, and yeah, we see how life is. So the female main character has a deformity. Her hand is not really okay, and the guy has his own deformity. His leg is not okay. He lost his leg. So we see how disabilities was appreciated in this book. I honestly loved how it was portrayed, and even the whole pregnancy thing, I loved how it was portrayed. I really, really liked it. I would love to read this book again when I'm pregnant. That's what I said. I gave it 5 stars. I really loved it. The next one I read is Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. I have had this book also for the longest, and finally reading it, I was so freaking disappointed. So it's about this particular guy and girl. It's a second chance romance. That's one thing I didn't even know before coming into the book, before buying the book in the first place. So it's a second chance romance, and they are like, he owns a flower shop, and she is a wedding planner, event planner. So they're supposed to work together for a particular big wedding that's going to happen, and they are enemies now. So we see how things work out. Honestly, the wedding aspect, the planning wedding aspect, or where they were working together aspect, was really nice, because we see a lot of difficulties and how she overcomes that. But their chemistry was really absent, in my own opinion. It was absent. There was no chemistry. There was no even when we go into the past, we're just seeing them having sex, and then is that supposed to be the connection? I gave this a 2 stars, and of course I'm unhauling this book. Off you go. The next book I read was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Oh god, this was 5 stars. This was whimsical. This was so freaking cozy. I loved it. I loved it so much. I don't know what words I can use to express that. So it's about this lady, Emily Wilde, and she's writing a paper, or she's like a professor, and she's writing a research on fairies, basically. So, well, there's a friend or partner, Wendell Bumblebee. Jesus Christ. Well, so he is also into this research. So he follows her to this place, and they start to look for the fairies and all that. There's nothing, no mind-blowing fighting and anything. It's just cozy, and I loved it. The audiobook narrator is so good, because when she talks about Emily as a lady that does not understand social things, like she doesn't really know how to react in presence of other people, it's quite understandable and relatable, because you want to say this, but you're afraid of saying. Who's that? The way she describes Emily's character, I just found it so relatable, because sometimes Emily does not understand social cues, doesn't understand what to say, know what to say at the right time to people. She's just socially awkward, and I really love that about her. While Wendell is the opposite of her. He's a people person. He loves to tell stories and stuff like that. He loves attention. So seeing the both of them relate is actually really hilarious. I could picture everything in my head, and also her writing about the fairies and our encounter with some of them and stuff like that in this small town is really, really cute. It was so cute. I loved it. 5 stars. 5 stars all the way. And I just bought the other 2 books in this series because I want to continue reading. Then the next book I read is Summer in the City. I gave this 4 stars. I read this book the weekend my father passed away, and it was really, really helpful because, like I said, it helped me, it distracted me basically. I was able to get lost in it and not think about my reality. But of course, once the story ended, I fell back into that deep hole and all. Yeah. So this is about a particular lady. She's a screenwriter, and one night before she starts her screenwriting job, she meets a guy in a club, and as she meets this guy, the guy just assumes that she wants money from him. So apparently she didn't know that he's a programmer that just hit it big, so she hated him from that moment and decides to make it on her own. And now she has to come back to New York City to write a screen for a movie. And so she meets this guy again in the house that she's staying. They are neighbors. So it's actually really, really cute seeing the whole representation of New York, how this place looks like. I could feel it. I could envision it. And then there's a map here that really, really helps also. It was just so cute. This book was gifted to me by my friend, Promise. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I gave this 4 stars. 4 stars. 4 stars. The next book I read is Hopeless, which is the last physical book I read. This was Hopeless. Oh yeah, by Colin Hoover. It was, not hopeless like the story. No. The story is actually really sweet, but I just think it's not for me. It's YA. So it's about this particular girl. So, Jesus. So my book just fell. Yeah. So Hopeless is about a particular girl. She's adopted and she has been homeschooled, and all of a sudden she wants to start going to public school to prepare herself. The reputation she even has is not a really, really good one. So going to school with that reputation, she's being bullied, but she's not a bullyable kind of person. Let's just say it like that. Anyway, so she meets a particular guy and feels like, oh my God, this is the only guy that I've ever had this kind of lust towards. And the guy has anger issues. Honestly, the book is really, really nice when you look at their love story and everything, but I felt like the things that were being said, I just didn't feel so comfortable with it. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed that love. I enjoyed how, he portrayed, how he helped her. But the way everything was just happening back to back, most especially when the things were revealed about who her true parents are, about what happened to her, why she got adopted and stuff like that. I just felt like, oh my God, really? Like, seriously? And then as a 17-year-old, I don't remember, but me, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but me as a 17-year-old, I could not do all the things that she was saying in this book. So I could not relate on that level, but I know that, people's realities are different. So yeah, it was nice. It was okay, but I definitely just, most especially when she went to our house, I'm like, you didn't need to go at that particular moment. You just take a break, breathe. But, and the funniest thing is they were talking about breathing, like taking a break from all this, from life. But they were not doing that because everything was just happening back to back. And also I could see all the plots. Okay, just one of the plots was that I didn't guess right, but almost all of them I could see from a mile away. So there was nothing plot twisting. There was nothing twisting about the plot. Well, but it was a bad experience that nobody should actually have to go through. I gave it a 3.75 stars. And then the last book I read on my Kindle, Heavenly Buddies. This was really, really different, a fresh vibe. I enjoyed it. So it's about this girl that has a prophecy on her that says that she's going to fall in love with a star and it's going to lead to their ruin. So when the star decides, okay, before I fall in love with this girl, I am going to kill her. So in our course, say, oh, this thing, and kills her parents and stuff, and he wants to kill her. And funniest thing is, nobody can kill her because of who she is and because of this prophecy. So it was really, really interesting seeing her fall in love with the prince, of the lion prince, according to what they call him, and all the little things that he did. I just like little things. I gave this a 3. I gave this a 4 stars because it was cozy also. So that's all, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me the ones you've read and the ones you think I should prioritize next, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Juices. Okay, so the way she describes camera is overheating again.